This is Spam Jam Podcast by First Line Software.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spam Jam Podcast by First Line Software. Today, we're going to discuss how to start a career in IT in AI era. My name is Konstantin Loginov. I'm Senior QA Automation Engineer. This is Alyona, my colleague, who is also a Quality Assurance Engineer. Welcome, Alyona.
Hello, glad to be here.
Thank you for coming. So, I know that you switched your role from HR manager to Quality Assurance Engineer. So, could you tell us a bit yourself and about your way and what actually inspired you for that?
To cut a long story short, during my working experience, I changed my specialization for several times. My journey in IT in particular started with a career in HR. I worked as an HR manager in First Line Software for several years, and I can say that it was quite a meaningful and productive experience. At the time, I was eager to work with people, and I really enjoyed it. Especially, I love to see the growth of people who are participated in hiring of and seeing how they become even greater specialists than when we met. But after some time, however, I realized that I needed a change. So I became a freelance researcher, and it went also great for some time. But I started to notice that I started to actively develop. So I understood that sooner or later, my newly obtained profession will become obsolete. So it was the only way for me and for my future profession change again. So frankly speaking, I didn't think about anything except IT because based on my previous experience, I understood that there are a lot of directions for work in IT. Plus, I understood how IT in general is structured. I was glad that I made the decision because after searching for the direction, I understood that QA is completely suitable for me because it involves problem solving, learning new things, and communication as well as in HR sphere, but in a more structured and technical way. So I guess it's like a perfect thing for me.
Yeah, perfect. And actually, I think we are lucky because we live in the world in the time when we can change the direction of our career, right, and make it really quickly. I switched my role after I got my degree in computer science. I worked as school teacher of informatics, and only after that I decided to start my career in IT in software development. Yeah, and it's pretty good that we have such opportunity today. I'm confident that you faced many difficulties on your way. So, what was the most challenging thing for you, and how did you deal with that?
Definitely moving to something like more technical like QA is not really easy, and I studied a lot and I continue doing it. But to be honest, I think that a learning process makes our work even more interesting. But if we are talking about the most challenging part, I guess the hardest part, at least for me, is always to start learning something. Because when you open at least one link and read a couple of sentences of information, it always gets easier. I would like to ask you about some difficult parts that you faced when you were started.
Next question. Um, Actually, I remember that um, when I only started my career and started working as quality assurance engineer, it was really difficult for me to understand that people can make mistakes because at that time I hadn't any experience in software development except my some theoretical work. So and my teammates were very experienced. For example, some of them at that time had 20 years experience in software development, and I should to say someone, hey guys, you're making mistakes. So it was really difficult psychological moment. I don't know. Yeah, I think this one. And second point, I think it's about asking the questions, because I think in our culture, in post-Soviet Union educational system, it's not acceptable when you asking many questions, because if you do it, so probably you uh, don't understand something properly, right? And yeah, and probably I have fear. And actually, to be honest, even now, sometimes I'm struggling with it, because I understand that, okay, I can do it without help. I need to understand it by myself. Yeah, it's second psychological moment. So, yeah. Well, actually, you said you switched your role, and you did many things, right? So, what did you use for your learning to become a quality assurance engineer?
Frankly speaking, I was studying from a couple of courses because I needed to understand some theoretical basis of the quality assurance engineering. And after that, I kind of combined the information and I understood the basics. So after that, I used some training sites for testing, because I guess that practical things should be also implied into the educational process. Because the more you test or the more you write code in the web development, the more you understand the approaches that are used on some real projects. So I completely agree with you that asking questions is highly important, because it doesn't mean that you don't know something or you ask some stupid questions. I'm sure it's not, because there are no stupid questions, and it's okay not to know something, at least on the first days or first month of your work. And plus, after some time, when you gain experience, you will become such a person who give advice and tell how this or that works. So it's just a work-life cycle, and I guess it's great.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And actually, after your learning, right, after courses, after the working with mentors, uh, could you say that making a course can be enough for doing your job well, or something was new when you started doing something in practice?
For sure, there were some difficulties when I started, because when you only know the theory, you think that you know something. But when you can start some practical work, it means that you just need to apply what you already know into some practice. So as for me, when I started to work, I guess all my theoretical basis was just lost, and I was like starting from the scratch, and it was quite difficult. But I think that practice means a lot, and it plays a very significant role. And the more you practice, the more you understand what you need to do. And also, as far as I remember, that you mentioned that you worked in the educational sphere, maybe you will remember some main points of entry to the profession, which were changed over past years.
So actually, yeah, I've been teaching people for quality assurance and test automation last 4 years or something like that. And yeah, I see like requirements to the candidates definitely increased. I think last years, using AI tools is making something that you should do. And actually, what about you? Did you use some AI tools for your learning?
I started to use them when I started to work, because it was several years ago, and that time it was not really widespread. It was about just talking that it is coming to our lives, and it wasn't really widespread as far as I remember. I currently use, but I use only ChatGPT for writing test cases and stuff like that. But as far as I know, you use much more, and many you will share some instruments that are actual nowadays.
Yeah, so I think in general, AI just changed the game, changed the learning process at all. I remember that when I was studying at the university, we haven't so many useful videos on YouTube. So yeah, I remember my yellow book for C language learning, C programming language learning. So yeah, and it was really difficult because yeah, you just go to the one page and you can see that if you need to understand this thing, go to the page 74 and you're going there. So it was really difficult, really difficult. So now you can ask any question anytime. So even at midnight, yeah, to AI, and it will provide a perfect answer on your question. So I think it's absolutely game changer. Yeah, and actually, I often use it in my work now because, especially the moment when you need to do at the first time, right? For example, write test automation, right? Some auto tests in some language which you never used. So, yeah. Also, I use Copilot from GitHub to speed up my work, right? Because, yeah. But I also see that many people using AI don't want to go deep to their responses. Sometimes it's not a good idea because we know that AI can make hallucinations. So yeah, and yeah, I think AI absolutely changed the learning process, but on the other hand, we have some issues about understanding what's going on in your code when you just copy paste it. So, and what about misconceptions in IT? What you faced with?
A good question. First of all, I guess the main misconception about the QA in particular, because I work as a QA, is that when you would like to go for testing, you have to be some kind of a coding expert. I guess it's not because, of course, if you have some technical knowledge, it would be a great basis for you. But generally, QA is about critical thinking, attention to details, and curiosity how this or that works. So I guess it is one of them. And I guess it is the mostly widespread one that I faced.
Yeah, nice. And for someone without technical experience, without technical background, who would like to go to IT, so what would you recommend?
Um, okay, first of all, I guess you need to define the direction because you need to understand which direction you would like to go. So if you at the moment don't know anything about IT sphere in particular, you need to see some videos of guys who are making videos about their jobs, their workflows and stuff like that. Or you may ask your friends or friends who are already working in IT to tell about their professions and what do they do on their jobs. Then I would recommend to learn the basics in order to understand the direction you are mostly interested in. Then if you pick a specific area, at first it would be great, whether it's QA, web development or something else. And of course, practice, because working on small projects really impacts your education, and it help you to understand what the your newly profession what is really is.
Yeah, nice. Agree. Completely agree. Um, Probably I can add that um, don't be afraid of the mistakes, right? Because everyone make mistakes. It's okay. I believe that each mistake is the point of growth. And also, I could recommend work with more experienced people because it can decrease the time of your long way of learning something. Yeah, definitely. Well, and I think that today many people can say, "Oh, it's too late to start doing something in IT because we have so many candidates there." So what could you answer them?
I would answer that it's not too late to start something from scratch in IT. Also, because the IT sphere is constantly changing anyway. All the knowledge becomes step by step. So if you wanted, just start to explore the topic you're interested in, what catches your interest. And of course, IT is really popular, but it doesn't mean that there is no more place for new people. It just shows that more and more spheres of our lives are impacted. So IT specialists, of course, will be needed. And also, I would like to add that it is okay if something is not as you expected it to be. So everything that happens is an experience. And if you started to learn something and you understand that it is not your cup of tea, just switch the direction and I'm sure you will succeed.
Yeah. Well, such great insights today. Thank you, Alyona, for your stories, for your advice.
Thank you for having me.
You were listening to Spam Jam podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Spam Jam Podcast by First Line Software.